Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I am going to build a wine bottle wall in my garden. Now this was not on my to-do list, but one of my neighbors has been collecting bottles and she dropped all of these off today. So that is the inspiration for taking these and reusing and recycling right here in my home landscape. As you can see, I have wine bottle walls all over my garden. A few things that I've learned along the way. It's best to keep them in areas that don't line your lawn, because the one thing that could potentially break the bottles is the motion of an edger or a lawnmower. So I am concentrating all of my wine bottle walls in interior beds to basically raise these beds above ground and distinguish the bed space from the path space. So come on back into the garden so I can show you where I'm going to put all of these bottles to good use. So this is the area that I'm going to concentrate on creating a new bottle wall. I'm going to edge the whole interior area of this space and then actually go all the way around this island bed. Thanks to a lot of friends, I have 3 wheelbarrows full of bottles, plus a whole bunch of extra here in my COVID wall. Any bottle will work. It doesn't matter if it's a traditional wine bottle that's round, or even olive oil containers that are square or rectangular. The main thing is that putting them together with light bottles makes them fit more tightly. If you want to use beer bottles, you absolutely can. But I will say, because beer bottles are so much smaller than wine bottles, they don't mix well together. How high should you stack them? Well, that depends on how many bottles you have. Really, I think they look best maybe 4 or 5 bottles tall. You can see how all of these bottles aren't really even in the ground, they're just laying here. It's because I'm going to use all of these for my new bottle wall. I've just been stashing them here for the last few months. Really, the sky is the limit. You can be super creative and use your bottles however you see fit. Just remember, the cardinal rule for using bottles in your garden is to make sure that they're oriented downward. That way they don't collect water and they won't explode into a million shreds of glass if you get cold. Getting started is really simple. All you're gonna do is clear your edge and then dig out a small trench facing downward with a shovel. And I always like to have my handy Handmatic, the groundhog, on hand to be able to dig as needed when I start laying the bottles in. So as you can see, that didn't take me very long, and I get it. Bottle walls are probably not for everybody. They are pretty tacky. I understand that completely. What I like about them is that I'm recycling, not just for myself, but for a lot of other people. I'm able to create a raised bed, and ultimately, the air inside the glass heats up and it creates a microclimate, enabling me to zone bend, planting things like cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower and garlic and onions all right along this bottle edge. Ta-da! Like magic, there's more! These are from a different friend, and they have a neighbor who apparently drinks Winking Owl, and thing is, all of these have caps or have like fake corks in them. I'm gonna remove these corks because I think you're better off to have airflow in the bottle. That way any potential condensation has somewhere to go. That way it doesn't explode if you get really cold. Now remember, I live in central North Carolina, zone 7. In my 20 years of living here, our lowest has been like 2 degrees. And for the longest duration, maybe 30 hours below freezing. So this is very different from Midwestern or Northeastern climates where your ground freezes. I don't know if bottles in the garden like this work in those areas. If you've never seen anybody with them, probably not. Now, I took inspiration from a gardener in North Augusta, South Carolina. She's actually in zone 8. She's a little more creative with how she uses her bottles because they're even warmer than they are here. For me, what I'm showing you has worked really well for my climate. But again, just take inspiration. Don't take everything that I do literally, because my climate is different from yours, even if you live just a couple of 100 miles away. Well, that was a fun afternoon project, and now I've freed up 3 wheelbarrows that have been filled with bottles. But I'll be honest, I thought those bottles were gonna go a lot further than they did. And that's one of the lessons that I've learned over the years using bottle walls in my garden. There seems to be an endless amount of space to be able to accommodate this habit of recycling. So I hope you'll be inspired by this simple project, knowing that it's not permanent and you are doing the world some good by recycling those bottles. So cheers, and thank you so much for watching.